Carpet caster. Well, the beavers are back at my folks' place, flooding areas that don't need to be flooded. Here I'm using the Pulsar Digisight Ultra in the negative mode, which means it's looking like an image is in negative. So what should be bright is dark, and what is dark is bright. Here I'm about to take the shot on the beaver. The beaver's hit, and he goes underwater, and he starts his curly shuffle. As he remained on the bottom, I intended to come back the next morning and pick up the beaver after he floated to the surface, but unfortunately we had storms come in, and the creek was flooded, and he's probably down in Lake Louisville by now. Later in the week, I went up to North Texas to hunt one of my larger properties. It's a very bright moon out, so stalking was not going to be a very good option. Here I'm sitting up on top of my ridge top overlooking a very large field. The power poles you see there are about 700 yards, and the dots moving in the distance are cattle at about 850 yards. Here I am adjusting the contrast to see if I can get a better picture out of the scope. And here I'm going to ramp through the zoom to show just how much zoom the scope has. You can do it in increments like this, or you can press one button on the top and it'll go from 3.5 power to 7 all the way to 14. And then also it has picture-in-picture mode, which I like a lot. While the main screen remains at your base magnification of 3.5 power, the picture-in-picture mode can be 7 or 14 power. I've been asked about the crosshairs. It comes with a variety of crosshairs. All 14 are variations of the crosshair design, and each of the individual designs varies by how big the X is in the center that is a different colored illuminated reticle. In this case I'm using red. You can also change the color of the crosshairs and of the center dot, as seen here. The red actually shows up a lot better in the scope. It glows like a bright LED. It does not show up that way in video. And you can also change the intensity of the crosshair brightness. A bit later I'm back to watching small animals in the distance. Again, the power poles are about 700 yards. And the small animals moving around appear to be raccoons based upon how they're moving. And they're somewhere around 650 yards or so. So I tried calling by mouth for a while. I was scanning out in the distance when I heard something off to the side. I swung the scope around and picked up this coyote running away. He'd apparently come in, had seen me, and was taking off. So I barked at it to get it to stop. And I took this shot at 135 yards without turning on the IR illuminator. She turned out to be a good-sized female. The shot entered the right side of the neck and exited out of the left side of the neck.
Optics provided by Third Coast Thermal.